Okay guys, this is Sean from Solis Review. Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be looking at Sinestro, the Yellow Lantern from Sideshow Collectibles. This has been a piece that I wanted for a long time. Love the character. I don't know if you guys know it, I am a huge Lantern fan. All the different cores, all the different colors. I can't get enough Lantern. So, this was a big one for me. I've had this for about a year now, so I'm gonna give you my thoughts on this piece. It's not a perfect piece, but it is an amazing piece in a lot of ways. So, little backstories here. If you're not familiar with it, Sinestro is a villain of the Green Lantern comics. He originally was a Green Lantern. He was the instructor for Hal Jordan, the primary Green Lantern from its newer iteration when it moved away from magic into technology in the 50s. Sinestro originally didn't have a yellow lantern core. He just had a yellow ring that fed off of Green Lantern's power. Green Lanterns originally had a weakness to the color yellow, so he was, of course, using yellow to attack Green Lantern. He broke off from the Green Lanterns, became a rogue, became a villain, was captured, was sent to another dimension, and in that dimension, for his punishment, he found a race called the Cordians, who are weapons builders, and they designed for him a yellow lantern battery and ring. It was a while after that before he actually created the Sinestro core, or the Yellow Lantern core. Unlike the Green Lantern that is powered by will of the universe, by the creatures that live in the universe, the Yellow Lantern is powered by fear in the universe. So you may initially think that that's a pretty dark, negative, must be bad guy power source. It's actually sometimes actually had good guys that are using the yellow ring. So not necessarily, but the way Sinestro intends it is a bit dictator Hitler-esque kind of a ruler. So he definitely uses it in a negative way, thinking that fear is the only guiding force to set the universe right. So he's kind of a good juxtaposition, an opposite of Hal Jordan. There's so much history, it's hard to really go over. That's a good amount of it. He leads the Yellow Lanterns, mostly. Okay. Powers. He has essentially the same powers as any Green Lantern, or essentially any of the other Lantern cores. They all have a little bit of their own flavor when it comes to things that they can do, but if someone focuses hard enough, any ring can do, for the most part, what all the other ones can, except for like a White Lantern or a Black Lantern. Those have pretty unique powers. For design, let's get into this. Does it evoke from the movie, or the comics, or the animated? Well, there was a movie, Green Lantern, and in the last post-credit scene there was a Yellow Lantern. Would have been amazing to see that one fleshed out a little bit more, but no, they shut down the burning dumpster that was that movie. He definitely resembles the animated, but I believe that the animated stuff is really actually just referencing the comic books completely, and he is dead on for the comics. So he's got the enlarged head, the suits exactly from the comics. There's no interpretation of this. It is pretty straight from the comics. Engineering while I would say it is ambitious and they created something that is beautiful and unique, it has flaws. I have heard many horror stories of this toppling. It is very top heavy, very small base, not heavy. The constructs are really light, but it's still so tall that it topples for a lot of people. That being said, also mine, I've seen pictures where his top foot is flat against this construct. Mine is not. He's just touching it as if it's just sitting there for him. And I've noticed, even though I've never ever moved it and it was perfect when I got it, that there are minor cracks in several places in the constructs here, which I'll point out. I don't know that they could have done any better. They maybe bit off more than they could chew for it. It's a beautiful piece. I love it. I'm not going to get rid of it. And I love putting a light behind it. And I'll add a picture of that too. But it's disappointing that there are breaks. That being said, I still love the piece. So just like in a previous video, I'm going to do a walk around video describing the sculpt and the paint, and I'll show you the accessories. I think it worked really well, and it allows people to see what I'm talking about, which is different than what I was doing in the past, where I was just relaying it to you and having pictures beforehand. I was inspired by Mr. X, credit to you, to do that, and let's give it another go. Before I do that though, I'm going to show you, describe it. So this is the EX. There is a regular edition. The regular edition, if I understand correctly, comes with the ringed but no construct hand and the basic construct of the yellow lantern symbol. This is the EX, which comes with the large saw construct. I had to have that one. I love it. It's very cool. But honestly, if you could only get one with that, I think it's totally cool too. It probably scales better as far as like not having an absolutely enormous piece next to a normal Green Lantern who doesn't have any of those. But that's definitely Thal Sinestro's his character is big and bold, and he thinks he is the best of everything. So okay, let's get going on that walkthrough. Okay guys, this is for the walkthrough video of my review. Let's start at the base here. It's a clear resin. I like the design. I like that they incorporated the lantern. It's a cool effect. It's not without problems. I like the look of it for sure, but as we look at it, this is a very bendable, fragile, kind of a clear resin. And you can see that you can just move this around. I'm trying to be very careful to not create any additional damage, but I notice that there is a split right there, which was not there before. I never did anything to create that. The base has a good profile. When you put light behind it, it really shines clearly. It looks great. I would have appreciated a little bit more weight at the bottom so that this bad boy doesn't tip so easily from being top heavy. It's so tall. It's not the highest statue I have, but it's the thinnest tall one I definitely have. Working up here, so you can see also where his foot connects to this construct little platform. It's not on there very well. It may be intended to be like this, but I don't believe so. And I've seen videos where the foot is squarely on there. You can see though, with the foot that's opposing it, it is nicely planted there. So it's not that this isn't on here correctly. I think potentially maybe that's an engineering where this whole area is like warped over by heat or something before I got it. But like I had said, the pressure seems to have cracked it there. Looking up here at the costume, I love the paint effects of the yellow. The black is supposed to be subdued like it is in the comics. I think that's great. The belt doesn't necessarily look like metal, but it looks like, you know, it could be a subdued like aluminum. So, you know, that's fine. The musculature is in there. It looks great. The suit even has effects of warping like fabric. Great texture choices, I think, as far as on the edges of the yellow to the black. The symbol looks solid. Very clean, very clean. The portrait, I think, is solid. I love this. So much detail in there. And, you know, it would be easy to think pinkish purple glob of a detail, but, you know, it's all one color. There's not a ton of, I guess, shadowing, but it still works. It looks great. I see skin details in there that feel fantastic to me. The eyes are piercing. They look like they have that Sinestro look. I'm better than you. I know better than you. You are inferior. Costume, again, looks great on the back. Hair on the blend looks wonderful. On the top, you know, it could use a little bit more detail, but I don't think that's really where you're looking. It looks good for the most part. Here is the giant saw construct, which looks fantastic and stays up even really well, even though here is another one of those silly snaps that have happened over time. I never hit it. It was just fine, and it stays up well. It's just, I think this points back to engineering for me. Fantastic piece though. Even though it has its problems, I love it. Now, here is the non-EX, just the yellow lantern symbol, which is great also. And then this non-construct hand. I think that while it's not as cool an option, it is an option that gives someone who is looking for saving space into a Vesta or something, that's gonna give them options. So all in all, guys, love this piece. Looking for more lanterns for sure. Now back to the regular review. Okay, thanks guys. We did the walk around. As I showed, there are a few areas with the clear resin that have mysteriously broken over the year that I've had them when it's been on display. I don't think anything's hit them. Maybe it was heat. Maybe there were weak points that just went over time, but like I said, beautiful piece. I love what I was seeing, the paint, the sculpt. It's just, I think engineering is probably its weakest point. I would have liked a little bit of a heavier base. I would have liked maybe a slight redesign to allow for stronger constructs here. But really, that's the only knock I've got. I love the constructs as they are, like what they are design-wise. It's just engineering on them. It is really the only negative that this statue has for me. I can't wait for them to hopefully create different lantern colors. I would kill for a red lantern or a blue lantern or orange lanterns. Those are all so cool. Eventually black lanterns too. I could imagine even a Kyle Rayner white lantern. There's so many options, and I would buy them all. So overall, solid piece. I would recommend this, but this needs kid gloves. It's a fragile statue for sure compared to normal fragile. So hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and share. And always, please send me any questions you've got. It's my favorite time of the day. So have a great night, guys. Thanks for watching. This is Sean, Solis Review.